I mentioned in a previous video about Ben Hogan that he was very enthusiastic about having the arms disposed in such a way that each of the elbows look at their respective hips, and that the upper arm particularly was clamped against the chest in a way that would make it difficult for somebody to come and detach them. Now, he then thought that the backswing was accomplished in such a way that the shoulders would turn fully, the hips 45 degrees, the knees 22 and a half, and the feet, of course, zero. But to add to the resistance that he was hoping to accomplish on the backswing, he had the left foot turned out what he described as a quarter turn. So I'm guessing 22 and a half degrees. So, so when he started the backswing from this position, even though he was a slender man, he would have to rotate this arm to get the club back. Now, in fact, that's exactly what he intended. He didn't want a hook at all. He wanted everything to be hit at the very least without a hook, but very possibly with a fade. And so the grip he adopted with the thumb on top, the left thumb, what is called a weaker grip, and the elbow looking this way, meaning that the arm had to rotate to the right, was precisely how he managed to accomplish that. Now, when I look at my clients or a new client, and I see them standing there with that weaker grip, with the hand turned in such a way that the fingernails are visible to them, and the elbow looking down, then I almost can guess that they're going to rotate their arms on the backswing. Now, he did precisely that. And in fact, his most fervent acolyte, a South African golfer, a wonderful champion called Gary Player, used to do it as a trigger for his golf swing. He would get ready in the way Ben Hogan advocated, and then he'd turn the arm to trigger the swing. Now, Ben Hogan did it a bit more subtly. He did it in the very first few inches of the backswing, but you get the idea. It's obligatory that the arm must turn. Well, that takes the club and rotates it into an open position. What do I mean by that? You'll get to the top of the swing with the club dangling, as Lee Trevino described it, as washing on a line, where the head of the club is hanging almost vertically, and the back of the left hand is rotated back, the knuckles rotated back toward where a wristwatch would be, into what they describe somewhat colloquially as a cuppy position. And this is all guaranteed to tend to want to go to the right, or certainly not go to the left. So when I see a golfer standing that way, the way Ben Hogan advocated, I usually start them off by turning the hand to the right so that the thumb is right of center. They can then see at least a couple, if not three knuckles, and make them bias, as I call it, where the elbow is looking out. So even though Ben Hogan's book is fabulous and rightly admired, and of course he was as a great champion, I think that that particular piece of advice in the book hasn't stood the test of time. In fact, you don't see any champion standing with their elbows looking down at their hips.